number 11, Training Day, 2001, directed by Antoine Fuqua. This is the movie that Denzel got the Oscar for, remember? You know, King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Remember that bit? Anyways, when Denzel Washington gives Ethan Hawke a pipe to smoke telling him it's weed, it's actually PCP, all part of his master plan in the story. Hawke sees everything through a colored filter, yellow, greenish, and feels like tripping. Great visuals. So the story is that he's trying to get him high, so he has drugs in his system, so if reported or anything or tested, he's screwed, right? But then in the end, like, it goes a completely crazy, twisty direction. But yeah, that was just I don't know, PCP. I haven't really smoked it, but I think it's more the fact that you get kind of so like out of it, you basically become like superhuman. So I don't know if that was really PCP or something else. But anyway, I'm no expert on that, trust me. Okay, let's move on before I embarrass myself more. Trainspotting, number 12, directed by Danny Boyle, 96. So, director Danny Boyle, and I have never taken H. I can only slightly relate to Ewan McGregor's detox come down. His hallucinations are not only realistic, disturbing, but highly relevant. The music for this scene is also perfect. Earlier Renton's OD, overdose, and literally sinks into the carpet, adding red carpet on the sides of his vision. They only go away once he's injected with something from a nurse, probably adrenaline to get his heart pumping again. But yeah, I mean, there's a great little scene. It's probably also part of the nightmare detox where the baby's crawling on the ceiling. But literally when he falls into the carpet, that was my favorite bit. Everybody thinks like, oh, he's going in the toilet to get his like suppository. I love the carpet bit. The carpet bit is really like, I can kind of get stuck in a trip, you know, even though this is H, I mean, it's sort of, I'm referring to the trip part of it, aspect to it, and I think it's very accurate. Anyways, let's move on back to one of my other favorite directors again, Jan Koonen, you know, from number 1. Doublemint in 97, which is my favorite French film of all time without fail. Okay, it actually inspired Guy Ritchie. You know, Guy Ritchie stole all his tricks off them and he gets all the credit, but Doublemint did it in 97. Can you believe it? Anyways, way before bloody Guy Ritchie. After his puppy dies during a robbery, the big guy is tormented. He can't take his eyes off of National Geographic on TV. When a transvestite has him sniff something, he has an instant bad trip seeing his dog in her outfit rolling over. This is editing at its finest, in this case intercut with hyena images as well. So that whole scene is a bit weird. Like, I'm not really into trannies and stuff, but they're pretty cool, like French ones in this club. But the fact that they're all like doing these drugs and stuff, and then the big guy with his puppy, you know, he's so like embarrassed because he got shot, and then, you know, when he has like a trip or whatever, he just thinks of his puppy. But the fact is, they had a little cut of the puppy rolling over in the tranny's dress. Amazing. The French, I tell you, man, they're crazy. Let's move on. Number 14, Home at the End of the World, 2004, directed by Michael Mayer. Before you meet Colin Farrell, we see his character as a kid tripping with his brother. Later he trips with his new best friend who experiences some visuals too. Don't remember much of this one, so I can't really say much about it, but let's move on to something I do know more about, which is The Beach, number 15, come out in 2000. So I was still in film school, still in film school at the time, and I just like read the book. It was my favorite book. I used to have a tradition of smoke and like read the book. Never did that before, never again. Read it a couple times, at least 2 or 3 times, and it's still my favorite book to this day because it really puts you there. It's easy to read, and just you fall in love with that place. You know, you want to go there, and that's what a book is. Once take you there, just like a film. But films don't always do it that great, but this book did. So I think the movie did too, but the movie still flopped. When lonely Leo is losing the plot in the jungle, he's literally becoming a soldier in his head as he sits in a canopy. He eats a caterpillar and starts seeing things. One assumes it's because of his worm meal. You never know if it's really his mind or not, since it takes effect so fast. A funny video game sequence commences too. So he's losing out in the jungle a little bit. He takes like this caterpillar or whatever, which I don't even know if there are hallucinogenic caterpillars, but it's Danny Boyle, right? But the video game sequence is hilarious. It's really cool, like old school Game Boy. Good bit. Number 16, Pulp Fiction, 94. Quentin Tarantino, obviously, his best film to date, as far as I'm concerned. After John Travolta injects himself, he cruises along with rear projection, obviously fake, and he smiles. Not only is his acting stoned, on age perfect, QT's use of backdrop purposely paying homage to his film's noir heroes. Genius. Okay, now this is kind of a more chill bit, not too crazy. He used rear projections quite a bit throughout Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill as well later on. But yeah, I love that scene just because he's so mellow, and it just shows like why John Travolta came back. Okay, the dancing was one thing, but the tripping acting, come on. All right, H, tripping, come on. We talked about Trainspotting, it's tripping. All right, you don't have to do it. Nah, number 17, 2005, Tony Scott. R.I.P. brother. The bounty hunters take mescaline and crash their truck van in the middle of the desert. Then a preacher appears and talks some sense into Domino, which is Keira Knightley's character. This is a long time ago, so I don't remember it too well, but yeah, it sounds quite funny. Anyway, let's go on to number 18, which is knocked up by director Judd Apatow, 2007 again. Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd go to Las Vegas to blow off some steam. So after getting lap dances from strippers, they go to see Cirque du Soleil. Of course, in Vegas, as you do. Seth starts having a bad trip, so they leave. That was pretty much the end of it. Again, a long time ago, barely even remember it. But let's move on to some mentions like Dumbo in 1941 and Disney films, various. Having recently read the book Elephants on Acid by Alex Bose, I was terribly shocked by the knowledge of LSD given to animals in the 60s and 70s in the name of science. He mentions the Dumbo tripping scene considered one of the most tripping reference ever in a Disney production. It literally is the beginning of the phrase pink elephants. Everyone thinks Disney films are innocent kiddie fare. I believe there are some hidden messages and references regarding drug use and others, this being the best example. So there's stories of like sort of sexual, like hidden innuendos and stuff throughout Disney, but this is definitely like one of the drug references that are for the adults and not for the kids, but it makes for trippy material, so kids enjoy it too. Let's go on to number 20, which is Taking Woodstock by Ang Lee. So the director has made two powerful films for me, A Life of Pi and Crouching Tiger. They're like his best work. Now he's still making crap, Gemini Man. He has a very spiritual side to his filmmaking, with some exceptions. Gemini Man. Way before that, sorry, Will Smith. It is briefly shown in this 70s hippie film, showing another side to the Woodstock Music Festival. Dimitri Martin takes some LSD in a camper van and colors start changing and visual movement occurs. It is very similar to Fear and Loathing in Lobby Scene, true to most hallucinations that I can confirm. Very short, sadly, but perfect, okay? So you have to see that. Don't know if I got a link or if I'm going to show it, but you have to find it if you can.